That's Marc Stevens, author of Adventures in Legal Land. I do a radio show called the No State Project. And this is not one of my typical phone calls that I do with the IRS and whatnot. This is to the Utah State Financial Services Department. I spoke to a gentleman named Paul, and I'm showing Stanley Milgram because Dr. Milgram did his famous experiment, the obedience to authority, because he was wanted to find out why seemingly normal people would commit atrocities just because they were told to do so. And so, coming after World War II, and we saw the Nuremberg trials and the excuse for committing these atrocities, murders, and mass murder they were just following orders, and that of course was rightfully rejected. But that mindset, that structure is still in place, and we see that every day. It's just not every day that they're openly admitting it. So in this call, even despite evidence that what he's doing is wrong, Paul will continue doing it anyway. That a sense of right and wrong, or principles of right and wrong, just are not a part of the job description when you are working as a government. And so here's that call. What if you have a situation where you can document and show where the decision is just absolutely false on its face, where the judge just completely ignored all applicable law and facts?
We don't have the power to overturn legal rulings. We don't make the decisions on who's guilty and who's not.
So if it was presented to this office that it clearly was false, not that you have to overturn it, it's just you still wouldn't stop collections on it.
If it has a legal judgment against it, we're powerless to. We have to do our jobs.
So you have no discretion, so even if evidence is produced showing it's absolutely false on its face, you just are like, automatons, you just do what the judge says, regardless if it's right or wrong?
Like I said, we don't make the legal rulings.
So you just enforce the decision whether it's right or wrong?
It's not us to decide what's right or wrong.
So wow. Okay. So you don't bring any kind of concept of right and wrong when you do your job. You just do what the judge tells you. No discretion whatsoever.
No comment on that.
Of course. Apparently, no one's learned a thing after Nuremberg that I was just following orders. It's just an autonomous system where the judge says jump and you... Well, Paul hung up on me, and that's what cut the recording off there. But here, you got it in his own words. It's not up to us to decide if it's right or wrong. Now, we're talking about opinions of lawyers. It's all a judgment is. It's the opinion of a lawyer, and it's a lawyer with no voluntary support whatsoever. So why shouldn't it be questioned? Why shouldn't it be subject to right and wrong? But this is not just a situation where they're not making independent decisions on whether it's right or wrong. They are actively ignoring evidence showing that what they're doing is wrong. So they will knowingly do something that's wrong because it's just following orders. It's a part of their job. What more do you need to hear or see to know that this is a violent criminal organization and needs to be abolished?